Today, I'm going to explain a 2019 survival sci-fi film called Exit. The story shows a deadly gas released across the city, threatening the lives of everyone who comes in contact with it. But who released it, and why? Let's find out. The movie begins with a young man named Lee Young. He's talented, energetic, but still unemployed. So, he continues living with his parents. Back in his college days, Lee was the leader of a rock climbing club and even won several tournaments. But despite all his skills, finding a job has become the toughest challenge of his life. Everywhere he applies, he gets rejected. To make things worse, his nephew and sister constantly remind him of his failure, which really hurts him. Now, it's his mother's 78th birthday, and Lee and his sister want to celebrate it in a special way. Lee suggests a beautiful hotel called Cloud Garden. His sister agrees, and the next day, the whole family gathers there for the celebration. Some more relatives arrive, and because Lee is jobless, they keep making rude comments about him. He tries to ignore it, but it clearly bothers him. While looking around the hall, Lee is actually searching for someone. And suddenly, he spots her, Ui Ju. She used to be in the same climbing group as Lee in college. Just like him, she was a skilled climber. But they haven't talked in over 5 years. Lee has always liked her, and the real reason he chose this hotel is because he already knew Ui Ju works here. Lee is thrilled to see Ui Ju. Ui Ju is surprised to see him too, and the two step outside to talk. While chatting, Ui Ju asks him what he's doing nowadays. Lee lies, telling her he's a manager at a big company. He doesn't want her to know the truth, that he's still unemployed. Just then, Ui Ju's boss calls her. He always flirts with her, which she absolutely hates. But since the hotel belongs to her father, she can't go against him. If she refuses him, she might even lose her job. Meanwhile, in the city, a truck stops in the middle of the road. A man steps out and opens the truck's containers. Toxic gas immediately begins to leak out and slowly spreads across the city. This gas is extremely deadly. Anyone who breathes, it starts suffocating to death. Soon, people everywhere begin collapsing. Chaos breaks out. Terrified citizens run in every direction trying to save themselves. Suddenly, a burning car slams into the hotel, triggering an explosion. Lee, who was happily celebrating with his family and completely unaware of what was happening outside, is now terrified. He rushes out with his entire family. Outside, they see total panic, people running for their lives, and the toxic gas rapidly approaching them. Ui Ju tells everyone to quickly move to the upper floors of the hotel. They all head inside, except Lee notices his older sister is still outside, sitting inside her car. She's late to come in. Lee yells for her to hurry. As she runs toward him, she suddenly collapses. The gas reaches her, and she begins losing consciousness. Lee holds his breath, runs to her, lifts her onto his shoulders, and carries her back inside the hotel. They manage to save her life, but she's still struggling to breathe. Lee immediately calls for an ambulance, only to be told that ambulance services have been shut down completely. Only helicopters are operating. After calling for help, Lee and Ui Ju look out over the city. The toxic gas has spread everywhere like a thick fog, and now it's slowly rising upward. Lee urgently tells everyone that they need to reach the roof of the building if they want to survive. But his sister is too weak to walk, so Lee uses curtains to create a stretcher. With the help of the others, he carries her upstairs. However, when they reach the top floor, they find the roof door is locked, and the only key is at the reception downstairs. They look over the railing and see that the reception area is completely filled with gas. Going down, there would be like walking straight to death. So, they move to a lower floor where a news broadcast is playing. The reporter explains that the toxic gas has already spread across the entire city. People can survive if they have a proper mask. And if someone gets exposed, they must breathe slowly, because that can keep them alive for at least 15 minutes. Luckily, they find 3 masks, but they still need that key from reception if they want to open the roof door and escape to safety. Lee is trying to figure out a plan when he notices another building right across from them. If somehow he reaches that building, he can climb back up to this rooftop and unlock the door from the outside. The roof door can be opened from both sides. So, Lee smashes one of the glass windows and starts tying a rope around his body. This is exactly what he's good at. He used to be a rock climbing champion in college. He knows exactly how to jump across and climb to another building. But his family begs him not to do it. It's too risky. But Lee doesn't care about the danger anymore. He knows there's no other way. This is their only chance to survive. So he takes a long leap toward the next building. Luckily, he manages to grab onto a pipe on the other side. Lee secures the rope and begins climbing upward, gripping the small edges and gaps of the building. His cousin is there watching, stunned by Lee's courage, and immediately starts live-streaming him from his phone. As Lee climbs higher and higher, the rope runs out, which means he has no choice but to remove the rope tied around his body and continue without any safety support. One slip, and he's gone. But Lee doesn't stop. Without thinking twice, he unties the rope and keeps climbing, slowly, carefully, pushing himself further. Finally, he reaches a huge lion head statue, the hotel's logo. Lee grabs onto it tightly and tries to pull himself toward the roof. But he's exhausted. His arms are shaking. Every breath is heavy. Still, Lee pushes himself up and climbs all the way to the roof. And at last, he unlocks the door from the outside. Now everyone finally makes it to the rooftop, and for the first time, they feel a spark of hope. From up here, helicopters could easily rescue them. They all switch on their phone flashlights and wave them toward the sky, trying to get the rescue team's attention. But from such a high distance, those tiny lights are barely noticeable. Ju quickly thinks of a better plan. She tells everyone to stand together in the shape of the letter H, and then turn their phone lights on, because H stand for help. They follow her instructions, waiting anxiously for a helicopter to notice their signal. But still no one comes. Their lights just aren't bright enough to be seen from above. Realizing this, Ju rushes back down to the lower floor and activates the hotel's giant neon billboard. The huge sign begins blinking rapidly, shining bright across the night sky. And finally, the rescue team spots the signal. A helicopter quickly heads toward the rooftop. A rescue platform is lowered from the helicopter, ready to pull them up to safety. One by one, everyone begins stepping onto the rescue platform. But when it's finally Lee and Ju's turn, the platform suddenly becomes overloaded. They can't board, not without risking everyone's safety. The helicopter takes off with the others, leaving Lee and Ju behind on the rooftop. Now they have no choice but to wait for the helicopter to come back, but the toxic gas is still rising fast. They can't stay here any longer. So they quickly put on the last masks they have, grab all the rope they can find, and pack it into their bags. They cover their bodies as much as possible, because the gas isn't just dangerous to breathe, it can burn skin too. Then they climb down and head out into the streets. Everywhere they look, there's nothing but fog, that thick, deadly gas swirling all around them. They run toward another building and manage to reach its rooftop, but the gas eventually rises there as well. It keeps climbing higher and higher, leaving them nowhere safe to stay. So they rush into another building, one that's taller, hoping the gas hasn't reached this level yet. By now, the filters in their masks are failing. The poisonous air has already started seeping inside. Fortunately, they still have one last working mask left, their final hope for survival. They notice another building just ahead, taller and safer. If they can reach it, they might survive a little longer. They throw a rope across to the rooftop on the other side. Ju goes first since she's lighter. She carefully climbs across and makes it safely. Then it's Lee's turn. He moves slowly along the rope, but the toxic gas finally reaches him. Luckily, he still has the last working mask on, which keeps him alive. From this new rooftop, they spot another building not far away, and children are trapped there, crying for help. Lee and Ju quickly use their flashlights to form a bright arrow pointing toward the children, hoping the rescue team will notice. It works. A helicopter arrives soon after and rescues them. The pilot signals that he'll return to pick up Lee and Ju next. But once again, a nearby gas station suddenly explodes, sending the toxic cloud surging upward even faster. Now the gas is almost at their level. They look ahead and spot a tall steel tower, their only remaining chance. They push forward with every ounce of strength they have left, climbing and running as fast as they can. Eventually, they reach a spot where there's no way forward. The path ends, and survival seems impossible. Exhausted and out of options, they hold each other tightly. Both of them have cared deeply for one another, but neither ever had the courage to admit it until now, when they believe this is the end. A drone appears, recording them live. The entire city watches, heartbroken. Soon, more drones arrive, but not just to film. They're here to help. One of the drones carries a rope and hooks it onto a secure point on the building ahead, creating a possible escape route. Lee and Ui-ju grab hold of the drone's rope and attempt to cross to the next building. But halfway across, they get stuck. They can't move forward, and they can't go back. The toxic gas continues to rise toward them, and a rope on the far end starts slipping loose. With no other choice, they cut the rope, but then the other end also detaches. Both of them fall straight down. The entire city is watching the live stream, horrified. People cry as they see these two heroes falling. And just when everyone believes they're gone, the rescue helicopter spots something below. Someone is hanging from a crane. It's Lee and Ui-ju, alive and clinging on. The rescue team quickly pulls them up and brings them to safety. Their families and friends rush over, overwhelmed with joy. What Lee and Ui-ju accomplished today, most ordinary people could never even imagine doing. Later, Ui-ju's boss, the same man who always flirted with her, tries it again. But this time, Ui-ju stands up for herself. She slaps him hard and quits her job on the spot. Meanwhile, the government sprays water across the entire city because water neutralizes the deadly gas. Lee walks over to Ui-ju, the girl he has secretly loved for years but never had the courage to confess to. And now he realizes Ui-ju cares for him too, more than he ever knew. Rain begins pouring down heavily, washing away the last traces of the toxic gas. And with that, the movie comes to a close. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing movie explanations.